Welcome to another module of this class. So in this module, we will be exploring different methods on how to set up your live server, your hosting. We'll be going through the process of how to purchase and connect your domain. We'll also be going through the process of installing and activating your SSL, which is your security. So as a quick recap, we said a domain name is a unique identifier or an IP address that is given to make a website or a web page distinct from the other. A website domain name is essentially its address on the World Wide Web. It is the address that the user type into the browser in order to view your website. Every website can be identified by its IP address, which is a series of numbers, and the domain name is just a more user-friendly label for these numbers. So we also have different extensions. We have .com, .ng, .net, .uk, .co.uk, .ca, and the like. So basically, your domain name is like your street address. So that would be a simpler way of explaining it. So without a street address or the number of your house, you cannot invite your friends over. So you need a street address to be able to tell people on how to locate your house. So the next thing is your hosting. So we say the web hosting service is a type of internet hosting service that allows individuals and organizations to make their website accessible via the World Wide Web. So basically, in layman's terms, your hosting is where your website files are hosted. So your hosting can also serve as your land. So we say your domain name serves as your street address, while your hosting is your land. While the website you develop on that hosting is the building on the land. So without the domain name, nobody can locate your website. Same way, without the street address, nobody can locate your house or any building you intend to sell. So for the sake of this class, we will be using listedhosting.com as a case study. We'll go through the process of how to buy the hosting, how to connect the domain, and also how to make use of the SSL. So SSL are in different formats, but basically listed hosting offers the free SSL with their hosting package, even though they also have different SSL packages if you wish to buy on an advanced level. Okay, so this is listedhosting.com. So here we see on the menu, we have the domain. If you want to register a domain name, you have the domain transfer, which is the process of transferring your domain from one hosting provider to the other. Then we have the hosting tab. We talked about the hosting and also migrate your hosting. So that means if you have a hosting with another hosting company and you would like to move it to listed hosting, they offer a free method and they would move all your website files without any issue. Then we have the security, which deals with your SSL. So this is where if you want to buy an SSL certificate, you can do that by going to the SSL certificate page. Okay, so this is what the page talks about. So we have different levels: your positive SSL, essential SSL, instant SSL. Then you have the multi-domain SSL. So talking about the domain, so let's go to the domain page. So you can search for any domain name that you would like to register, your business name, your name, whatever it is. So this is where you do the search. Then you have different extensions and their prices. So these are all the extensions listed here with their respective prices. So you can pick from. Then let's go to the hosting. Okay, so let's go back to domain. Under domain, we see domain transfer. So this handles the part if you wish to transfer a domain from one host to another. Now, basically, these steps we are going through are a bit similar with other hosting companies. So they're similar. So the process of transferring the domain from one host to another is the same thing everywhere. So there are two basic things you will need when doing or performing your domain transfer, you will need the owner of the domain, wherever the domain resides, to first unlock the domain. Then you will get a code. We call it EPP code, or you call it auth code. So with those two things, that is what you will bring to your current host. And after you have unlocked it, you bring the EPP code here to initiate the transfer. So we'll do a walkthrough of that so you can understand. So you see here it says 3 easy steps. You search for the domain, you request for your code, and you confirm the transfer. Okay, so let's go back to the home page. So there are different ways you can buy your domain and your hosting. You can buy the domain alone without the hosting. You can buy the hosting alone without the domain. You can decide to have a domain with another hosting company, and you have your hosting with another hosting company. So both can work. So it's not a must for you to have your domain and a host under one roof, but it is possible to link both of them together. So whichever one works, that's fine. So in order to buy a domain and a hosting, so we'll run through the steps. So first, let me search for the domain I would like to buy. So I would like to buy this domain. So the first thing is to check if it's available. So you click on the check. So the system is searching. Good. So it tells you the .com is not available, .net is available, .com.ng is available, .ng is available. So, but the .com, which I actually wanted to buy, is not available. So from this page, you will know what to do. So you can go for other extensions, and for me, I would like to go for this extension, this. So I can simply click on buy now. So if I click on buy now, it takes me to this page where I will need to add or select a hosting account. Now, if you just need to buy the domain, you don't need the hosting, then there's no need adding a hosting service to it. I can simply just click on these two. They are free services. You click on them, then I go down and continue. But for the sake of the class, I will need to add a hosting because the domain cannot work without a hosting if actually I will need to host a website on it, or I will need to use the domain to send email address. So either you want to use your domain for sending out mails or for hosting a website, you need a hosting account. If you buy a domain without a hosting account, it remains a domain, nothing else. Nobody can search that domain and find anything on it. So the next thing to do is to click on hosting. No hosting, click to add. So I'll click on this. Good. So it brings me to the hosting plans page. So the prices are displayed in monthly, but you can change them to yearly. So, and I believe listed hosting offers for each of their plan. If you pay for the yearly plan, you get a free .com.ng domain name. So I'll go for this first plan. So you can see that my domain name has been automatically brought here for me, so I don't need to input it again. But if I want to change it, let's say for some reasons, one reason or the other, I need to change this domain name, I can simply click on register a new domain, transfer my domain from another registrar. We'll come back to that step. Then I will use my existing domain and update the name server. So now this first option is I have a domain name elsewhere. I don't want to move the domain name here. I am not here to buy a new domain. I have it on another hosting. So you will simply pick this option and type in the domain that you have somewhere else. And once you are done buying the hosting account, you will now go back to wherever the domain is and go and update what we call DNS, which is the domain name server. Every hosting account have a domain name server. Okay, so I'll go back and use this. So click on use. So it takes you to the cart page, and here you can change your billing to yearly. So you see it says annually I get a free domain. So your cart is updated to 10,000. So you click on continue. Good. So once this is done, you're back to this page. So you do well to tick these two again. So you can see that now it says you have a hosting attached. So click on continue again. So you can see now at the review and checkout page, you have your hosting plan selected. You have your domain name attached also. And your domain name is free because this hosting plan for a year offers you .com.ng for free. So that's why you're having zero. But on the renewal here, it says you'll be paying 11,000 annually, 11,200 annually. So from next year, this is the amount you will pay. And if you also have a promo code, this is where you apply your promo code. So the next thing to do is to click on checkout. So if you get to checkout and discover that fine, you need to add SSL. For some reason you don't want to use the free SSL, you can simply go back to SSL certificate here. So this is it. I'll go back to SSL and pick the first one. So it will be added also to my cart. So you need to input the domain name you want the SSL to be active on. So this is the domain, because you can have multiple domain names under one single account, but you can buy different SSL package for each one of them. So I am saying that this SSL should be installed on this domain name. So we click on continue. Also remember that before an SSL can be installed on a domain name, wherever you are buying the SSL from, it's either you have the DNS of that domain pointed to that hosting company which is offering you the SSL. That is the only way it will work. The other way it will work is if you don't want to point the SSL, your DNS to that hosting account, but you want to use their SSL. So that means you need to go and you go through the step of installing the SSL yourself. So you will need to get the certificate, fix your CSR before you can install it manually under your cPanel. But the easiest way and automated way for you to activate your SSL after purchase is to make sure that the domain is pointed to wherever you are buying the SSL from. And once that is done, the hosting company will handle the installation of that SSL. So let's go back to continue. So you see I have the three options now. I have the hosting plan, the SSL, and the domain. So this is my total. So the next thing is to check out. So at the checkout page, you have the option to sign in if you already have an account. If you don't, you can sign up with Google or Facebook. But after signing up with any of these, you will still be needed to fill in this at the first instance. For subsequent login, you can always log in with any of these two options, either Facebook or Google. So I'll go ahead and fill this. Then you put in your email address, put in your phone number. Then if you have a company name, you insert it there. That is, you're buying for a company. You put in your office address. So your city, your state, and your postal code also. So the country is Nigeria. If you are not from Nigeria, you select your respective country. And the next step is to add your domain registrant information. So now this is the information that is visible to people on your WHOIS database. So if you would like to change these details, you can add new or use the default information up there for every other registrant information. So basically, we'll leave it as default. Then you insert your password. So you can easily generate your password. Like I said, have a notepad where you save passwords. So for this, I'll copy this out. So I'll go to my notepad. So I can call this hosting account purchase. lhacademy.com. So this is still under this number one. So email used, you type it there, and the password you are going to use now. So the email used was this. Good. So once this is done, you come back here, you copy this password, make sure you copy it, then you click on copy to clipboard and insert. So the password autofills itself here. So the next stage is the payment method. So there are three payment options here. Either you pay with your card using the filter wave option, or you pay with your card using the pay stack option, or you perform a direct bank transfer. So the first two options on any platform, other platform may give you option to pay with PayPal, Bitcoin, and the likes. So pay with PayPal, Bitcoin, they are all automated. Once you make payment, the system is set up immediately. Your hosting is set up, your domain is being registered. But if you pick this third option, which says direct bank transfer, it allows the order to be placed while you transfer the money manually to the bank. To the bank account you will be displayed, that will be displayed for you. Now, once that is done, and the transfer, you do well to insert your invoice ID so that when the host company receives your payment, they will know that this payment is attached to this invoice. And in some cases, it is advisable for you to go to the ticket section of the page of this website and create a ticket, attach your payment proof to it. They will receive it back end, then they will now have to activate your order manually. Now, this process sometimes takes within 10 to 24 to 48 hours, depending on the bank you're using to make payment. But if you're using the first or second option with your card, the payment is automated and you get value for what you are requesting for instantly. So I will be using this third option. So once you do that, if you use the first or second option, you'll be taken to another page where you'll be able to insert your card details. But I'll be using the third option, then we'll click on complete order. So once you click on complete order, your account will be created and an invoice will be given. So you see here, the account has been created and I have the invoice. So here also you can decide to change your payment method. You can change it here. So if I decide to change now, I can do that. Just select pay with card. So the page will reload itself. Then the payment button comes up here and I can simply click on pay now. So the payment interface comes up. Then you can select your card. You can either put card here. You can also do the bank here. If you choose to do the bank transfer, there are some selected banks. So it tells you what to do and stuff like that. You can also do a transfer. You can use the USSD option. So GTBank and UBA are the only options available here. So if I pick GTBank, so dialing this code on my mobile phone number connected to my GTB account will deduct this money. And after the money has been deducted, you simply click on I have completed payments. This is also an automated way, though it's transfer, but the transfer is done by the payment gateway. So it will sync once you have used this code to pay. So if you use your card also, put in your card details and click on pay now, you get a token or an OTP. From there, your payment will be deducted. So that's that. So let's go back to my client area. Now that I'm logged in, so you see here it tells me this is my invoice is unpaid. That's because I'm not paid. So it's now left for you to make your payment before the service is activated. Some hosting might tell you to verify your email address. Yeah, it is good to do that. The link will be in your mail. If you don't see the link in your mail, you can simply click on resend verification mail. But most times,